makeup on and finished. We did put on some vitamin C serum, and then we got on some moisturizer by Bulldog, and then we went in and slugged with this very interesting product, Egyptian Magic, the ancient Egyptian secret all natural cream. It's something on the order of Aquaphor, but it's something on the order of petroleum jelly, but it's a little bit kind of more of a whipped texture, and it's quite nice because if your face is still damp and you put on your moisturizer and vitamin C and you get this on, it has olive oil, beeswax, honey, which is a natural emollient, bee pollen, royal jelly extract, and propolis. So a lot of bee related things in here. And it is, to my eyes, all natural. Lord Pharaoh Imhotep Amun-Ra, CEO and founder of Egyptian Magic. Wow. This container is as fascinating as reading the Dr. Bronner's bottle. But anyway, it made my face feel hydrated and flexible. Sometimes that's a challenge in the cold winter months. And after that, I did a live where I was talking about a unaliving case here in the States, but I dipped a very, sort of, not super dense. What's the opposite of dense brush? Not loose, dense, sparse? I'm not sure. But anyway, I dipped this brush in the Maybelline Superstay up to 24 hours hybrid powder foundation in the shade 220. Now, last night I used the shade 312 and it was looking too pale, but I used a brush to put this on today just to take down shine so I didn't look insane in the thumbnail, right? Instead of using the sponge that, if you saw Michaela, it gave like a really thick, crazy application where, we're not trying to disguise our face. Oh, I also went in with this Revolution Pro Blur Stick. This is the Universal Face Primer. I believe this is the matte one. There's a Blur Stick. It doesn't say. Maybe it was on the part that I peeled off, but got this primer stick on, and what's nice is that the slip of the Egyptian Magic let this product, which in colder temperatures, glided across the face. So it was more comfortable. Sometimes you'll use something that's more like liquidy and it won't feel satisfying. This felt satisfying in combination with the Egyptian Magic. In any case, this is the paler shade that I got. It seemed like the right undertone, and it, this is what it did on the face. I feel let's see if that solves the problem. I feel powdered, but not in a way that feels heavy or chalky, and I don't look like I have a ton of makeup on. I just look kind of normal, right? So a light base of this hybrid powder, and this hybrid powder is amazing because it does not make you feel dry. It makes you look powdered. You definitely achieve more color unity. I think it is somewhat buildable, right? But you can kind of just dust it across your lids and dust it across your face and feel like you could hop on a Zoom call or go to the grocery store and not look like there's a problem. You would look like, oh, okay. You look kind of normal. But in any case, we have a few new products. We got Milani Cheek Kisses, Berry Smooch, and Pink Flirt. We also got a couple of these Felt and Kohl. I think it's a double-ended product. We have the brown and the black. Brown and the black from Makeup Revolution London. So much drama with Makeup Revolution, but it's always exciting to see them have a new drop. I did see the Minnie Mouse collection in store, but I wasn't sure that I needed anything from that collection. There was a feel like there was a palette and some product, and there may have been some sort of like makeup bag or something. It's definitely cute, but I can't say that I'm like living for it. I did get hold of some sort of Mickey Mouse palette. I want to say it was Makeup Revolution, but I'm not sure. But I also have this It Cosmetics Color Correcting Full Coverage CC Cream, but I feel like this looks good enough where I feel like I don't need this. So for a different day, I do also have the correcting cream in the shade. Does it say what shade it is? This is medium. I think this might be medium, but now I don't see the shade name on the package, but they look ballparkish. Anyway, we'll do an It Cosmetics day, but I just wanted to come on and say hi because I've been caught up trying to barrel forward, trying to do a bunch of things before time runs out, right? This is the medium and the deep shade of the Makeup Revolution Contour and Sculpt, right? Just like our other products, the NYX Wonder Stick. And somehow in my mind, I always think that NYX and Makeup Revolution, maybe it's because of what their displays look like in stores. In my head, this is the same company, and it very much is not. It is always very interesting to observe the fortunes of different cosmetic companies because, you know, I remember my first cosmetic purchases a very long time ago. And I want to say it was Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes. I'm sure, I mean, probably lip gloss is my first real product, but you know, I remember being so impressed with Wet n Wild that I was like, oh wow. You know, when you start investing, you're like, oh, what would be a good company to invest in? And I always thought, oh, I want to buy Wet n Wild stock. That would be a really good company to invest in. And it's funny because, correct me if I'm wrong, Wet n Wild, for as small but ubiquitous, right, everywhere as their in-store footprint is, they seem to be, you know, let's not, I guess, get into a discussion of shade range because that isn't the best as far as I can see. Maybe it's better online, but I feel like they're everywhere. They're definitely affordable. There's products that they don't carry anymore that I'm glad I got hold of. These little bronze eyeliners, just, you don't have to be precise with this. It's gonna look bomb. You can do it in the car. It's great in summer because it applies like a dream. But for $1, right, you get your feet wet, and then you go up the food chain and try more expensive products. This is the Lift, Define, Sculpt. This is the medium version. We'll try it first. Double-ended contour and highlighter stick. It feels high quality in the hand. It feels high quality like the Jason Wu components for his makeup line. It has an end that is a contour and another end that's a highlight. It tells you where to put it. Cheekbones, nose, edge of the forehead, along the jawline. Highlight under the eyes, and under the eye highlighter, down the bridge of the nose, middle of the forehead. Yes, middle of the chin, right? It has a little drawing. Did anyone see the Victoria Beckham no makeup video that everyone's up in arms about on TikTok? Ooh, this doesn't look very dark. Hold on. Will this be pointless if I get this on as a... Ooh, it might be pointless. Look at this. This is what the contour shade looks like. It's not my complexion, but it's almost my complexion. You know, you live and learn. You try it. I'm not even going to put this on my face. It looks so... No. And sometimes I feel like, ooh, will my friends judge me if I just pass on makeup products to them because it's just too pale for me? Like, here, pale face. I did have a friend give me a bunch of lipsticks that she felt were too dark for her. I do have them. I haven't tried them yet, but you know, I just don't know the right moment or way to say to someone, hi, would you like my, not everyone is, I don't know, receptive to, if not used makeup, then opened makeup. I'll put it like that, right? It's not like I'm trying to do anything naughty, but I don't want to put the items in the trash because they're perfectly good. I just know, as far as I'm concerned, that that medium shade Makeup Revolution on my skin is not going to contour me, because we know from yesterday I like a dark contour. I do, because I underpaint, and I like, you know, I like the colors to show, you know? But yeah, this one powder is looking, I'm impressed, because as you know, my go-to for a long time, this is the deep shade. This is what the little deep picture is looking like. But my go-to for a long time was it the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. Look at this. This is slightly darker. We gonna try it. The packaging is nice. We've got all the lights on. So, looking into our mirror, giving it the old college try. It's not the deepest, darkest, right? And trying not to get it on our earring, but just trying to sharpen up that double chin, right? Around the jaw for that, you know. I did see someone do their cheek contour like this, and instead of connecting the line, they made a free-floating line like this. That seemed like something worth trying. Free-floating, right? And then along the jawline, I'm just trying to look and get it symmetrical, right? Trying to use the kind of thinnest edge and not be too aggressive. It does glide on well. It doesn't seem, it seems more crayon-y and like it's not gonna set down like crazy. Let me scoot closer for you. Taking it from the brow, down the nose. I do wonder what this would have looked like if I hadn't powdered my face first. But I did. I did powder my face. And I quite liked it. Then I like to do diamond shape on the bottom of the nose. And then just see where the blending leaves it, right? So to kind of create a little shaft on top of the nose, and then a little head, if you get my meaning, on the tip. Can I tell you how excited I am? I made an Instagram post about this Wet n Wild Saved by the Bell Wanna Wrestle setting spray that I got for $1 at Marshall's that has AC Slater, aka Mario Lopez, on it with his shirt unbuttoned. Mario Lopez liked it as well as Wet n Wild, and I felt seen. I can't describe to you how fun that was. Because it's like, you know, you're just trying to get through and do your posts, do your duty, treat it like a job, take it seriously, but you know, it's fun when somebody actually sees your work. But yeah, we're just sculpting the lids, checking it out. So that's the sculpt on. It does look a little bit warmer than I prefer, right? You know, I like a darker contour. I like it to be a little bit more cool. But, you know, unless it just goes gray, I never feel like it's cool enough. What is the proper blending implement, you ask? Well, if we can find our silicone sponge, then I think we would be in good shape. Yes. So, you know, our reward after we do this is that we can, you know, get into the street. So they say, blend your contour up toward the hairline. You're just trying to not be too heavy-handed. Maybe just hold your sponge by the tip, right? You don't want to disturb your skin, but you do want to apply enough gentle pressure that you blend. And if it's not enough, you can go back in, right? Holding it by its tip, right? That you kind of blend and stroke and press pretty much in place. You just don't want it to look like a line anymore. You want it to be diffuse. This isn't my favorite silicone sponge. I did see that Sonia Kashuk had a silicone sponge on sale, but I don't think I grabbed it in time. Little line across the top. You know, I watch with interest how people do their, this blends out very well, by the way. It blends out easily, it gives you color, and it doesn't make your skin look stained. I'd used the e.l.f. Halo Glow in the deepest shade as contour yesterday, and I think I got in a little bit of trouble. Again, blend up so that your cheeks don't end up looking muddy. Blend up. Try not to broaden out your contour. Anything that goes wrong, you can fix it with your squishy sponge, right? People say beauty sponge, but it's the squishy kind of foam type, and this is the silicone type. These are so good and non-absorbent of product. I feel like they're just like a finger without a bone. I'm gonna put together an online store so that I can have some of my favorite products in there. Nothing expensive, but just things that mean something and are useful to me. That's what I would like to be in my store. And, you know, I had some friends who made some really beautiful art for me. I am writing a whole project I'm going to publish as books, and I think I'm going to use that art as one of the character designs and then ask them to do a design for the other characters. So there's that. You know, just trying to make the most of this month, right? You want to do cool things, right? You always think when you're at work all the time, like, oh, I want to do these cool things, and then you don't have time. But when you do have time, right, can you do the things that you want to do? It blends out very nicely, and it blends out matte, which is quite extraordinary. Not all contour products give you a nice matte finish, but from here, right, this is overpainting, right? If we treat that powder like it is foundation, and then looking at it from here, I feel like this always ends up being too much. I really have to discipline myself to use a smaller brush to make this a thinner line and a lighter line, because yesterday as well, it just ended up being too much and too heavy, right? Trying to figure out how to lift that. But the cheek contour is nice. The brow and the nose contour is quite nice and subtle. I say thumbs up. The deeper shade, definitely. It would be great if they had an even deeper shade, but maybe they'll do that in the next drop. What else are we trying to find and use this time round? But yeah, I like that very much. We have a couple of the cheek kisses. Let's work with Pinky Pink, right? Pink Flirt. That's me. Although I've been on TikTok beefing with people, because, you know, there's been a lot of controversy about this whole Passport Brothers movement, and, you know, people going to foreign countries claiming that they're looking for love or a wife, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. And then there's a whole attempt to monetize it by bringing it to social media, right? Traditionally, men who engage, that is nice, that is quite pink. Men who engage in such things, you know, it's usually a private matter. You don't necessarily want to bring it and lay it at the feet of other women. If it's not A and B, see you later. But somehow these folks really want to pursue all this in public. There is video, and they want to play bully because they happen to have a couple of dollars. These are not people who are, you know, bawling. They are, you know, just regular working class people, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it does feel like, you know, people want the controversy and they want the you know, they want to be lads in public forums. So this sponge lifted up some of the powder foundation. It feels like to blend this, you should get a coat of your delicious, kind of punch scented Mario Lopez without a shirt, AC Slater, Saved by the Bell. Wanna wrestle? Look, he's asking if you wanna wrestle. And I say yes. Oh no, Mario. Oh, oh. I almost can't take it, but it smells good. It smells like suntan oil. Ah, that show. 90s, right? But this, I deem this, I guess it's a cream blush. This is quite nice. It gives you a pink glow on my complexion, so I am impressed by that. And it's very modern to blend that up into the eye area. I see people going ham with the, and this setting spray is nice because it dries down super quick. But yeah, it gives you pink blush. So we're sculpted. This is looking a little bit heavy. It looks good on camera. It looks a little too severe in real life. But yeah, we can also set these two things with our Jaclyn Hill Be Rouge Espresso Shot Compact. We also have a Pat McGrath set of cheek products. But should we get into some kind of eyeshadow-ish type deal, or should we use the Jaclyn Hill as eyeshadow? Let's go into this delicious Urban Decay Wild West palette. Should look at this. We tried this yesterday. It looked so good on camera. Oh my God, I was blown away. So we did lightly powder our eye area, and it comes with a cute little sheer or translucent lucite. It's elegant looking. This is my first, I think, I might have a naked palette somewhere, but I was super impressed by this palette. Let's get into Nudie as a pale crease color and see what it's giving. It's a little bit kind of the color of a biscotti. We're just stamping over where we sculpted with our contour stick, right? But, you know, we're learning so much about just being subtle with a subtle difference in coloration, right? It doesn't have to be such a festival of color. It can be something that is pale and discreet, right? You just layer in that basic shape with your contour stick. We did not take the contour stick and connect it to the eyelid, but we should do that in future, right? How is this lighting feeling for you? I have a mirror light, I have 2 ring lights. I have ambition to put some kind of gel over the lights so that we don't get this harsh set of reflections. I've been threatened with a lighting consultation. And, you know, the thing is, I do see people's ring lights in their posts. So is that a bad thing? They're not the most expensive lights, but, you know, yes, if people want to gift me more expensive lights, I wouldn't say no. Let's take this shade. Let's take Tex, since it's a kind of saturated, looks like a hunter green, maybe even a dark teal. Should we use the same brush or a different brush? Let's try a different brush since we did clean our brushes. You know, it's just strange to me that people want to be so I don't know, what is the word for it? I kind of want to use this tiny brush. Who made this? There is no label on it, but it's tiny. It's almost like a big lip brush, but it's got a little bit more head on it. But yeah, you know, like, so many critiques. The one thing I will credit myself for is, like, I'm not just talking about doing this anymore. I'm not saying that my videos are like, oh, so high quality. What I will say is I'm doing it. And, you know, when I have time to think about it, I do feel like, oh, maybe I can, you know, increase my production value. Maybe I can invest in a slightly different microphone, slightly different lights, or go find, you know, those are, they're not gels, they're kind of like translucent pieces of, mm, it's not plastic, but they're things that won't, you know, sort of burn if they come into close proximity with lights, because, you know, they use them on set with like big giant lights. And lights are mostly LED now as opposed to the old days. Look how nice that green is. It is applying patchy because this might not be the right brush. And we really didn't prime our lid, but look at this. Look at this shape. It's straight across the crease and not even all the way. And just using small strokes to build the right shape and bring that back toward the lid, right? And you know, just because a lot of makeup tutorials are sped up, right? Always hold your brushes and different implements at the tip so that you can get a very light pressure, but it can take quite a bit of time to very gently blend and see if that patchiness, is it the eyeshadow? Is it our base? Is it our technique? Right? And just not be too crazy with putting a lot of pigment on, but wanting to be strategic, build it out at the right angle. Again, we haven't employed tape. But I find this stuff interesting. I hope you find it interesting as well. But yeah, is it the right lighting setup? Sometimes I feel like I could use a different light coming from a different direction, a hair light, right? So beyond, you know, sort of bringing light under the face and obliterating these like harsh reflections, I have sprayed, I think there is a formal thing that you can spray on shiny surfaces to make them less shiny, but if I gel the lights, hopefully I don't lose light, but maybe I gain, you know, just losing that glare so that you don't see the shape of the O. Or is the O a high status thing? Are we looking for the O when we watch our favorite content creators, right? Does the O give you the assurance like, yes, this is a homemade production with a light that cost under $10? Is that the reassurance that we're looking for when we come to YouTube and similar platforms? You know, I just like the immediacy of, you know, being able to go into a corner and make stuff, right? That if you have the discipline to kind of sit and say, okay, this is what I want to talk about, that you do some thinking and some research, or maybe you try talking about it on a different platform, but then by the time, you know, you roll on yourself, right? And lives are at least super easy to execute because you just title it, set it up, and press go, right? Then later on, you could do a screen recording of the live and then use that as a basis for an edited video, right? If you have the time. And, you know, if you've picked a subject that doesn't feel stale by the time you think about, you know, doing something else with it, right? Trying to make this eyeshadow symmetrical, trying not to harm the skin of our eyes, but really looking at this beautiful finish. This Maybelline product, people, you know, put on a heavy application of it like it's that Kat Von D Good Apple. It's not that. You can lightly apply it with a brush. You could do the heavier application depending on the state of your skin, but, you know, there's a refinement to the way it makes your skin look like skin, but better. And I really appreciate that. Me likey. Do we need to blend with a different brush? I'm not sure. But it definitely is giving green. And it's definitely giving cat. And we're definitely taking territory that's expanding the reach of our eye. You know. Bringing that tail out toward the end of our brow tail. Blendy blend. I'm never a fan of fingers in my palettes. Here is a MAC 283 brush, little cat's paw. We rocked with that silver shimmer yesterday. Looked so bomb. Oh, you don't get this palette for any other reason. That silver shimmer, I don't know. I feel like I haven't really gotten into a silver shimmer before, but I'm about to get into the silver shimmer again. Let's try to see what it looks like if we just put it on the lid itself and kind of kiss it back toward the green. Right? We want people to respect our makeup game, that we're doing something, a little bit of color, a little bit of shimmer, not going all the way up to the brow like we did yesterday. I was watching a hooded eye person, kind of makeup person on TikTok. So we're bringing it above the crease just so that when our head turns, we're getting that reflect and it's not buried deep down inside our crease, right? I'm gonna bring it across the lid and then we'll use that first brush to like blend it back. But this silver, you know, I hear people talking about Space Cowboy, and I feel like ColourPop, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like ColourPop and Jaclyn Hill have eyeshadow toppers and shimmers that look, to my eyes, just like Space Cowboy, right? There are people being critical on TikTok of just how much product people keep pushing, how much they want to make it viral, and then people are going out and buying it and feeling underwhelmed, right? A lot of Charlotte Tilbury hyped products, the lip color, the different foundations, you know, people talk about them in such a magical way, and then people are spending top dollar on them for half empty components, and you know, it's creating a feeling of disappointment. You know, I don't know what to say. Can it be that the hyped up products aren't as magical as people, a little teeny bit more green, that people hype them up to be? And why is that? Why would you hype something that you don't absolutely love? And there are certain people who are saying it's because they're getting compensated to do it. You know, as I sit here in my corner, I'm not being compensated to do it. It is more my own exploration. Like, is this, if I was trying to do something, you know, red carpet makeup, date makeup, can I do something that looks good and interesting and not like too much makeup or crazy, right? Is this the right brush? Does it need to be blended with something else? We could take this Jaclyn Hill JH35 brush, right? And see what it do on the tail, holding it at the tip and just letting it rock. We're not trying to take the color away, but we're just trying to make it seem more seamless and blended, not blended away. We don't want to blend it away. We just want to keep blending it in place so that it gives it a sophistication, but we're respecting the shape and the lift, and we're, you know, keeping ourselves occupied and entertained. I mean, I feel like sometimes we can go astray, right? We can end up spending our time not doing the things that we want to do. Blended, not blended. And lose our focus, right? Like, yeah, you have to take time, put, you know, groceries, post office, bill paying, paperwork, writing work, staying in touch with people, you know, but then in a way, you kind of feel like you've gotten a gift when you have time to sit on live and do your makeup and experiment with a wonderful, surprising new palette. I didn't expect that this would be so very good, but you know, I've been listening with interest to people telling me that like Makeup Revolution is terrible, and you know, products that I enjoy, and that Morphe brushes all suck, and you know, often these are the things that I have and I don't think they suck. Or am I just too dumb to know that they suck? Am I dumb? Or do I just have poor taste? It's hard to say. We do have some new, you know, we just have new products. We want to try them. We want to see what they are giving. Oh, we can't forget to put the brush back into this palette. But this palette makes me think, ooh, so many of the Naked palettes just look kind of nude to me, and I didn't necessarily feel like, oh, I better make sure I get hold of that. It felt like, maybe. This is the other color of the Smooth Whip. I got the two darkest shades of the Smooth Whip from NYX. This one is called Pancake Stacks. Right, we tried this one, which was kind of like a punch color yesterday, corally punch. This one seems like more of a nude. Pancake Stacks. Is this going to make me look like a cadaver? Well, we're about to find out. Sometimes nudes don't give, and it may need a liner, so let's see. But look at that silver on the eyes, green. Woo-hoo! Do we need a liner? Probably. Yeah, this needs a liner. Look how pale. But it feels really good on the lips. Oh my God, Al Jolson has just entered the building. No, we gotta fix this or we're gonna look insane, or like it's the 1960s. It's a very nice product though. It feels good on the lips. It doesn't feel as dry and you've been making out with a powdered donut as it looks on the lips. What is the song he used to sing? Let me not sing it so I don't get in trouble. But just using our beauty sponge to get that off of our finger, and then grabbing our very favorite brown L'Oreal lip liner to repair the damage. It was wet, and I didn't even use that much of it. Look, it's definitely giving you pigment, but it's giving you this pigment, which on a paler person might look more enchanting, but it looks like I should have Priscilla Presley's old hairdo, you know. Rest in peace to her daughter, right? Very young, 54 maybe? But you know, life is precious, so a life of adventure. And you know, she has children. People were saying things about the state of her estate. In any case, that looks slightly better. Like a little X, a line or two, just to, I hate to say it, cheat and kind of bring this lip color back to a look of health. Just gonna use the, as you know, I like to do this, use the tip of my eyeshadow brush to blend the lip liner, right? I'm not always lining my lips before I put the lip color on, and I think no matter what, I like to blend and not with a brush. I don't want to lose color. I want to blend it. And again, same thing, you're just kind of tapping it into place to create lip architecture. That line without it looking like an outline, right? Blending those lines on the lips. Again, restoring that look of natural lip texture that gets eliminated when you get lip filler, right? To make it look like I don't have lip filler. Am I fooling you? Does it look like I have lip filler? You know, you just want a lip look that's like credible and not drawn on. You know, I get distressed when I see a lot of suspicious lips. But I get excited when I see people who have really good looking makeup. That looks a lot better. All right, giving us dimension on the lips. We could even gloss it, or we could leave it dry. I feel like it looks very modern dry. I'm almost tempted to put more of that pale color in the middle, but let's slow down. Let's not get crazy. Does it need a gloss? I think it might be okay. But if we go into this Jaclyn Hill palette and we find some sort of angled brush and then set this blush and this bronzer with, here's a tiny brush. Is it too tiny? Or should we experiment with it, right? Get this into the bronzer shade. And run it over top. This is the darkest shade of this Jaclyn Hill product that I could find. There's other shades that look like they're the color of butter, which would not do anything on my complexion. I am not the darkest person, but we know that Miss Jaclyn is not known for having the most aggressive shade range. Just reinforcing all of our contour, but this contour actually looks great, right? It really is distinctive by the brow. It really did blend out nicely on the forehead and on the jaw. I think it just got a little bit too wide and aggressive here. I'm gonna have to keep working on that. But, you know, using a tiny brush. Is it the right brush? Unclear. A tiny brush to reinforce that bronzer and the structure of the face. Maybe put a bit of it on the forehead. Right? It's always interesting to me to watch how makeup artists do men's makeup, right? I was watching something on TikTok and you could tell the model had a huge cold sore. So they had put makeup on the cold sore and then went in to do like a bronzer tutorial. I'm very concerned about, you know, herpes, since I had an interaction with that fella who was, in my head, really trying to give me herpes and play it off and talk about cuddle. I'm gonna do some stuff on, this is the blush shade, which is Be Rouge, which is, I guess it's sort of a plum looking, maybe a kind of subdued Merlot, but wanting it to come in at an angle. I'm getting some unusual texture here on my face, but nothing that a trip to the gym can't resolve. This is a nice calm color, right? If you were in court wearing a suit, you could get away with a color like this and have it look like it was native to your face, right? With that blotchiness. If you ever go running and you see how you blush naturally after exercise, it doesn't look like stripes and it doesn't look like, you know, a whole wash of pink across the whole face. It looks like, you know, color that's coming to the surface because of blood in your capillaries, right? It's almost like that post-climax face, if you will, if you can remember what those days were like. No, just kidding. So once this is on, right, maybe we do need to line our eyes and then we can, then we'll be ready to rock. So that is too pale. That's a bronze. Maybe we can try one of these Essence. I feel like I've opened one of these. And I'm glad, you know, when I find something I like, I'm glad if I do grab it. But sometimes I'm like, oh, do I have too many? But then you don't want to be in a situation where you don't have any, because good makeup. This is a dupe for the Meghan Markle favorite MAC Teddy pencil, right? A gold flecked brown. This lip color is growing on me. And I have made this adjustment to brown eyeliner. It looks a little bit more reasonable than black. Black is great. Black can seem aggressive. you know, especially if you're in the daylight. It's always better on the right side. And why is that? I get more of a flick and a point. But yeah, Essence has dropped some product recently. And I don't, is it lip color? I know there's a foundation, but there's some products, right? And it's interesting. If you just Google different brands on Twitter, I know that Wet n Wild is dropping a collection, the Pampered collection for Valentine's Day, and then they have a couple of stray complexion products, a primer, and then some sort of like powder. It's either a priming powder, a foundation powder, or a finishing powder. I'm not sure, but this is the Essence Primer Liquid that we tried yesterday, which is quite nice. But yeah, we have texture through our cheeks, which we rarely do. I wonder what went wrong. But yeah, I'm not hating this. And then we can take our pink kabuki style brush, the one that leaves little fibers all over our face. But it's not too dense, but it will give you a nice, thoughtful blend, right? Again, hold it by its very end and just give yourself a very light, kind of like a curry comb if you come from the horse world, right? You just want to swirl everything together, take down any sharp edges, any, you know, harsher pigment, and make it seem a little bit more native to the face so that it doesn't look drawn on by the numbers, but maybe looks a little bit more kind of baked in. And that certainly has helped with that lower cheek contour. But this brush is not cool because it has all little stray fibers that go in my eye and stick to my lip. But that's the price of beauty. When I can replace this with something better, I will. But it just doesn't stop shedding hairs. Do we gloss this lip or leave it dry? I'm not mad at how this looks at all. Do we need to brighten under the eye? Oh, there it is. There's that hair sticking me in my eyeball. Are we good? Do we need to see what the other end of this Makeup Revolution? Oh, it's nice. It says on one side, it says contour and it says highlight. What's up, Coops? Look at us doing this makeup. What's going on? We use the contour end. Now let's see what's what with the highlight part. Is this enough of a highlight for us, or do we need to switch to the medium? Uh-oh. I think this seems like the color of my skin. This isn't... Thank you, Cooper. Cooper, you're a champion. This is the dark version. As we know, we still have the light or the medium version somewhere. Oh, we threw it on the floor. We won't be able to rescue it without stepping out of our shot, so we've used it on one side of our face. Should we put it on the other side just to make it symmetrical? But it really isn't brightening. It really is just adding a layer of product. So let's leave it alone. We'll see how it wears, right? Should we get on some kind of eyeliner over the pencil liner, or should we leave it alone? We do have these felt and kohl liners from Makeup Revolution that we forgot to use. Next time. Cooper, should I gloss my lips or no? Let's leave it up to Cooper. We do have some MAC lip gloss in the shade Nymphette. I know Cooper appreciates that. We could also get it on the tip of our Jaclyn Hill brush. Oh yes? Okay, here we go. For Cooper, MAC lip gloss in the shade Nymphette. Just for you. As you see, it's pink with gold reflect. So we're going to get that on the tip of our Jaclyn Hill brush. Ooh, Cooper, look. We're getting the gloss right here on the tip, just for you. Yes, kissable. And then we get the applicator just right inside the hole. How about that? Put put that aside, grab our handy mirror, right? We want to focus it in the middle. That's where you want to add volume to the lips. Just so that you get that nice reflect. And suddenly your lips look less like a butthole and more like an inviting, moist place. Right, Cooper? Inviting and moist. Just what the doctor ordered. Yes, right there on the tip. Whatever's left on the brush we can add to our cheeks. Cooper, should I put on highlighter for you? Is that a yes? Or are we good? Please, he says. Okay. Whatever Cooper asks for. Ah, here we have the Charlotte Tilbury palette that no one discusses. It's so funny because a lot of people have really gotten into her ass the last couple of days on TikTok. They really are appalled at how expensive and how not that great her products are. This is the Nudegasm face palette, right? So if this is us, we're going to use the same not very dense brush that we used with our powder foundation, and I guess get into the palest shade. This is actually bronzer as well as maybe blush, but let's use the highlight shade for Cooper and get that on the high point of the cheek. It's a nice subtle highlight. Brow bone. All right, so we're getting this nice reflect that makes that cheekbone jump out at Cooper. Other side. Highlight. You know, Cooper is a very sophisticated, educated man. When he goes out to dinner, he likes to see sophistication as well as, you know, thoughtful application. That's the key when you're dealing with someone sophisticated, right? They don't want to see paint by the numbers. They want the eye to be fooled into thinking, oh, she just has high cheekbones. It's not just artifice. Nudegasm. What do you think about that, Cooper? That's what the palette looks like. And that's what the highlight looks like on. Right? This is a paler shade of that Superstay powder foundation, and I didn't think this would work for me based on last night's darker color, but now I'm wondering what the darkest colors of this foundation would look like as contour and highlight, because the finish is very natural. You wouldn't look at me and think, oh, of course you do, Cooper, but you wouldn't think I'm wearing a lot of makeup if I just put that complexion product on top of skincare. Oh, thanks. Nudegasm. You can get it on Amazon. I'm just going to put the little condom back in it. And that's our completed look. Cooper will tell me if he prefers if I apply lashes and do a lot with my brows. I'm never like, you know, you can see my brows. I'm not the sort of person who has to draw my brows on. Just using this little polka dotted brush to just brush them up. Oh, thanks, Cooper. You know, I know you're like, damn it, Tanya, get to work. But this is part of my work. This is part of my branding and promotion work, so that when I, you know, finish the book and drop it, I won't be, you know, sort of sending it into the void. That will hopefully have people to send it to. Right? But yeah, I'm actually quite pleased about this makeup look. No, not natural. There's shimmer, there's green, some Urban Decay makeup, but I think, I think we did a tidy job. The one item that I love, but I think I have to replace it, is this kabuki brush. It's nice and loose, but it never doesn't leave fibers all over my face that itch and drive me crazy. I have different brushes, but this is like the same thing, but it's too dense. It would just wreck my makeup. And I know I'm working on this glare situation and, whatnot. But in any case, thank you for rocking with me. This is, where are we? We're at 55 minutes, 42 seconds, right? We've done a yeoman's job. Look, I'm going to turn off one light, right? We lost that light. Oh, thank you. You have to see me beefing at people on the TikTok. They be getting on my nerves. They really do. There's so much denial. I'm going to turn off all the lights by stepping on the surge protector. Oh, no, you're fine. Look, everyone's busy. I'm glad you caught it. This is my second live of the day. I did one that's with all my ring lights, my mirror light, and my Christmas lights off. So that's just the ceiling light. How terrible. I mean, at least I make an effort to do some lighting because, it's better. Lighting that isn't perfect is better than no lighting, because this is what no lighting looks like. And this isn't, whenever I see people's videos like this or darker, I'm always like, what's going on? Are you hiding? But we're at 56 minutes and 52 seconds. What else can I possibly say as I wrap this up to get outside in the street? I would love to find a replacement for this brush because it does what it's supposed to do, but it's just endlessly falling apart. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. But you also remind me that I need to be more productive on different projects so that, I'm not just talking about them anymore, right? But, I do claim praise for myself, because as hard as it is, it's not easy just to like jump on your camera and make content. It is quite something that takes a lot of energy to have something to say. And I'm not even saying I'm being cogent or I'm great or whatever, but now you'll see that those glaring circles are not on this painting anymore. I have to figure out that whole situation. But you do see the harsh shadows. I did think about putting a light here,